talking AGP, anti-gravity, project I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will, got the dark matter token going up, I can tell. Hey, I can tell this is the start of something fresh. Shout out Hex Revision and Donna Hex, yes. I confess, Hexicans don't stress, cause as a community we one of the best. So tell me, are you in, or tell me, are you out? Do you want to win, or do you chase the clout? What is this really about? The treasury and lottery. If you meant dark tokens, you can get a part of it. So how does it work? Let me explain. First you buy the dark token, now you're in the game. Then you mint the dark and get a fuel cell. That's an NFT, one that earns yield. As long as you have it, it feels like magic. But if you vaporize the NFT, that's tragic. So most think crypto is a game. Are you here for the fame, or here to make a name? See, Hexicans reign, we create our own lane. I thought I told you, we the new financial gain. AGproject.io with the flow. And if you know what I know, then you know what I know. That's just how it go. Something like to support the team, the dream. Public service announcement, t.me/anti-gravity saga. Hit the telegram. Tap in. It's for y'all. I'm talking AGP, anti-gravity, project I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will, got the dark matter token going up, I can tell.
Darker matter.
Now build a bear for your teddy bear picnic. Building the bear to eat when the bull run ballistic. Will he get to a point? Yes, I'm Hex, like Richard Hart's better Bitcoin. Industry upheaval sent for smart contract decoy. Multi-chain pulse real, no decoy. In my space coat suit pose like a b-boy. Anti-gravity project check AGD's coin. Fuel cell sacrifice to the decoy. Portal type with extra arms, big boy, decoy. Hungry for potential gains we could make. Some of the brave name a 180-day stake. Or 33, learn the tokenomics promptly. No sleep, we are only countdown to launching. Stuff that jackpot pinata. I want the whole enchilada. We'll see mañana. Block data, sacrifice, mistake claim. Wait, whichever ever way you play, I wish you great games. This down cycle brought many pains, but props to you if you ain't changed. You are worthy and deserving of charts earning, profit earning, graph the wins that you yearning. Start with learning, do not panic, sail in a hurry. The art of walking on a floor that's burning. More lava make the bull run faster. See through false hype and fake influencer chatter. Talking head trainer while they're dead if you let them. Truth weapon as a lesson, yeah, like Fight Club versus UFC. Don't talk about it, be about it. It's all about the AGP.
Hey kids, this is Pulse Right Vision coming to you live from Cuatro Cinco Studios in my mom's basement. And we're here with another update of You Down with OTC? Yeah, you know me. I thought about that while I was eating dinner tonight. Because we've been talking about OTC. You know, everyone talks about liquidity. Oh man, your coin doesn't have any liquidity. Yeah, I'm sorry you can't dump on me. I mean, don't get me wrong. You want to be able to take profits, but there's a few good ways to take profit. And I'd mentioned V3 yesterday, and I could be talking out of my ass because V3 doesn't work with tax tokens. And so you might have to go to somewhere like like switch.win or squirrels swap.pro to set limit orders, which would be basically the same thing as V3. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the OTC. We're going to catch up on what's going on with the price of darker, the buy bot, see if anyone else has claimed or sacrificed their jackpot winning from 1,332. And we're getting closer. We're about a week out, I think, maybe 8 days out from our next jackpot. So that's going to be really exciting too. Honestly, the amount of darker that has been minted at this point is staggering compared to the overall supply, and kind of how the way that it works. Well, I'll explain that to you guys in a little bit about the FOMO curve, the treasury that pays out 1.2 million out of the 2.2 million. So over half of it is in the treasury, and it goes to the most diamond-handed mofos in Fight Club and Space Cult. So if you don't got your darker matter and you haven't minted fuel cells, so that you can, go through one whole round and then stake after one whole round, which could be anywhere from 12 to 22 days to stake and then go through a round and then be able to, claim or sacrifice if you hit the jackpot, and then stake for 180 days and then wait 180 days where you're forfeiting all of your treasury for 180 days. For 6 months, you're not getting paid. That's the cost of going into the supercharge. You want to supercharge your fuel cell, and it's a superconductor. You plug it in there for 180 days, and then boom, at 180 days, instead of you go from 0 in the treasury to 100x boost against all the other NFTs. And you also get an opportunity to claim liquid darker every 11 days forever. Now, granted, if you just have one fuel cell, you're not going to get that much of the pot. There's hundreds of thousands of fuel cells right now staked and competing for that 1.2 million darker, because I think things are going to get really, really scarce before they get really, really floody. And I got to say, the people that are going to receive those floods, they might be pretty diamond-handed. They might be pretty committed to the cult. So, I mean, a lot of those guys have already sacrificed hundreds of thousands of darker to the jackpot to make the jackpot bring in more enticing to new people. And they've also pumped a ton of money into the EDI converter. So, I'm just blabbing now. We'll go through that when we share our screen and figure out what's going on. But that being said, thanks for being here, all three of you. I can spill all sorts of alpha here. I'm seeing hair on the back of my microphone. It's bugging me. Hang on. There we go. Now, if I get really close, I won't get hair in my mouth. It fell on the cowskin rug here. So, yeah, let's just get into it. The three of you that are here and the people that are going to watch this tomorrow, Replay Gang, enjoy your coffee, and you can do this. You're stronger than you think you can. You're going to kick ass today at work. So let's go into screen share mode real quick. I tried to clip that bit from yesterday's stream where I was tipping the dealer in Morbius, and Firecow put this female voice on there that's very warm and alluring, and it's pretty fun. It's a fun little clip. I tried to clip it, but I need to sit down and actually try doing it other than just doing it from my phone. But either way, it's a funny clip. If you guys haven't seen that, check that out. Also, most of my streams are 2 to 3 hours, and honestly, you can watch them in about an hour if you just 1.5x my voice or 2.2x my voice. I sound normal, and I sound better, I think, when you speed up my voice. So feel free to speed up my voice, and you can get through twice as much content really quickly. That's what I do with Crypto Coffee. I've been loving his streams that he's been doing pretty much daily, and that's been really cool. Let's go to Twitter Roonies here, and they've started putting my stream all the way at the bottom. Like, it won't show it. You have to hit more, and they stick it clear at the bottom. And I think that's because I've never boosted any of this stuff. So, and because there's 3 people here, it might be why we're down at the bottom on Twitter. But I bet you those 3 people are actually see 0 views. I have no views on Twitter. All 3 of you guys are people that have probably set your YouTube alerts to being like X-Ray Visions Live. You are probably the 3 that have been watching me read Rings of Dust. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the ride or dies. Speaking of OTC, here's our man right here, Triplet Dad. Triplet Dad created 0x Bistro, Magic Carpet Ride 369, Super Steak. One more. What is it? Something about a cafe or anyways. Yeah, here's Wild SJ right here. He's reposting that with her. She's really cool. Look at this, reposting Pickle Juice's Tasty Occultist Steaks together. Look at that. That's probably why we're getting so many views and replays, is because he's reposting that, and we really appreciate that. But we really appreciate this place over here called 0x Bistro. And I just noticed something today that I hadn't noticed before when I've used 0x Bistro. So if you go to 0x Bistro, you'll see that there's some darker for sale that's on Supercell. It's listed at like $1.18. And the price, this says that the price is $125. It's not $125, guys. And then there's some right here for like $1.20, $1.30, $1.40. And that one hasn't 6% sold. This has 18% sold. But when you click view, so if you want to snatch up some of this arbitrage opportunity right now with darker, you would go to view, especially on this cheaper one up here. There's 820 left. So you go to view, and then it says, okay, how many do you want to buy? This is saying, hey, if I bought the whole thing, I'd buy 820. And it looks like the price is 1.28K. It's not. It thinks that the value is 128K. So if you took 820 of those and you bought them for $1.20, then let's do the math here. If you bought 820 for $1.20, that would actually cost you $984 in EDI, or and I don't know why it's showing it's darker on Ethereum. It's not on Ethereum. It's on Pulse Chain. So when you connect your wallet, you want to make sure you're on Pulse Chain. But again, I would be paying just under $1,000, but I'd be getting 1.28. So I'd be getting basically $280 of free darker, or a discount of almost $300. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is really confusing and misdirecting. I'll have to send a little video or some information over to Triplet Dad, because it does look like that's what you're paying, but that's what you're getting. So don't let that number fool you. You know, if I were to do 100, right? Oh, Jiminy Christmas. 100. So if I did 100, it's telling me that I'd be paying 156, but I wouldn't be. I'd be paying 120. So that's $36 of, bonus darker or darker that I can, arbitrage. Just go. I could just take a portion of this, go sell it on, hopefully I'm tax exempt because I'm in the community, but I go sell that on the market, and basically still have a bunch of these for $1.20 when the price is much higher. We'll show you that. So check out 0xbistro.io. There's another one called Jolt, but I have not tried Jolt, and it's over the counter. So you can actually list your tokens at different prices here, And as the price goes up, and you can list them for like 2 years or whatever, as the price goes up and these orders get filled because they're in the money and they're at a discount, you would be basically taking profit without hurting your bags. You'd be taking profit without adding a bunch of sell pressure to the chart, most likely, if you're selling with this way. So yeah, there's 820 at $1.20. There's 941 at $1.40. Although, let me check this out real quick. Where does it say? It doesn't show the it doesn't show the price up here. It just shows the price back here. So it's $1.40 there, but if we go to show more, we don't want to pay with, we want to pay with die. So if we pay with die, it says we're getting it for $1.30. So that's the balance. I don't know why. Oh, because here's what it says. Okay, so if I bought, this is an easy way to show you guys. If I bought 941 darker at $1.32 because I used the die, which is 10 cents more than the other pair, then I would be paying 1.31K. I'd be receiving 1.47K of darker. Do you see the difference? You just take the balance right here of what you would get and you add it up there. So you minus that from that, and that tells you how much of a deal you're getting and how much of arbitrage you're getting between buying here versus buying on the exchanges and paying slippage or pushing the price against yourself. These are all slippage free. And you can do this with tax tokens, which I know tax tokens don't work with V3 right now. So a lot of people wish they could put their tax tokens on V3 and sell on the way up. But you can do this OTC order right here. You can also go to squirrelswap.pro right here. Oh, and by the way, those of you wanting to move your NFTs, you can go to NFT Nutters. You can go to My NFTs. And then you can go to, this might be wrong actually, loading My NFTs. I got a lot of NFTs in this one, a lot. And a lot of them don't even really they don't really matter. These 86,000, there's very few that matter. But if you go right here, it'll say owned, listed, offers received, my offers going left to right, my auctions, my bids, history, bulk transfer. You can click bulk transfer. You can choose a collection down here of your ponks, your squirrels. I've got 555 squirrels in here. No way. No way. No way. Holy cow. Wait, where have how did I miss that? Because I think I can do some cool stuff with my squirrels. Oh, this is a whole nother stream. Jiminy Christmas. Either way, you can get your fuel cells right here. This one has 690,000, which is a previous, test net on mainnet. We are all the SA. It says that we are all the source address. I've got 8,327. Okay, hang on. NFT collection. Okay, so this is one of the NFT collections right here. And you can do the fuel cells, which I believe are the dark one, or the ones enter a custom address. So we could enter a custom address right here. And then we can go over to pulse scan. And people are usually asking me for this address up here. Oh goodness, it's so long. So this address right there, copy that one. It's easier to copy it than to wait for pulse scan to load. I don't know how they've set pulse scan to load, but it's dog shit. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. You'll sit here for 3 days being like, oh. Back to Squirrel Swap. So where was I? I was right here, enter custom address. So let's do this right here and hit paste. And this is the address of the fuel cells right there. Look, fuel cell, boom. So this should pull up this fuel cell from the live darker matter game right now. It'll load them up here, and then I can choose them and I can send them to a single recipient, or I can airdrop them. So I can take a CSV file of a whole bunch of people and start sending them some NFTs. And let them find those in their, find those in their wallet, be like, what are these? What are these fuel cells? These futuristic fuel cells. And then they got to come listen to me read the book, which is, there's worse things in life. Anyways, this is a bulk transfer that it's taken a while to load because I do have just a few thousand of these, and there's not metadata attached to them yet with the art, but that's coming. Failed to load NFTs from collection. So try it again, but this is pretty cool. You can bulk transfer them here on this one, but that isn't what I came here for. That is a squirrel. That is ADHD. That's a distraction. So if I go to trade and I go to limit right here, let's say I want to sell my darker, and I want to sell, that's not it. That's it. I want to sell this darker nope, let me switch. I want to sell my darker for nuts because we love nuts here. Man, we love nuts. So here's the nuts and the darker chart right here. And let's say that I want to sell like 10% of my bag. Let's say my bag's 100 darker, and I want to sell 10% every time the price of darker goes up against nuts by 2. So as you can see right here, this is, or in dollars, it's like, okay, every time darker goes up, doubles, I want to take 10% and I want to buy some nuts. Or, more likely you're going to be buying a stable coin like EDI or USDC, which, by the way, we have USDC LP now. Shout out to the badass that did that. So anyways, here's total deposit, 10 darker. That's going to be like, I think here's the fee. So I'd be depositing the 10 in this contract, and then I'd be paying the fee of 4 cents in Pulse. And then I can choose it 7 days or 1 penny, but I can just take this line right here, the orange line. And so right now it's 4 zeros and 9 7. Wait, is this listed in nuts to darker? Okay, so we need to switch. We need to flip this around. And we flip it there, but we need to flip the price right here. So darker, nuts, darker, Pulse V2, live, auto, order, loading, candles. So I think this shows you the other orders on here. I could be wrong. No, older, candles, indicators. You can have some indicators, linear, log, chart, percentage. How do I get this to show this? Maybe I've got you're selling darker, you'll receive nuts. It's just weird because nuts is listed first on this pool, and so it's not wanting to show me the, so nuts are 4 zeros and a 5 right now. And so I could just do this and say, all right, well, when darker is, or when it's, no, it'd be twice as far down, actually. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I got to figure out how to flip this. Let's try another one. We'll do darker and die because that one will show up in dollars. So here we are. Here's the chart right here. We'll zoom out. Let's go on the 1 day candles. Yeah, so here we go. This just shows some of the history of EDI and darker. And it looks kind of like, it looked like an alpaca, and now it looks kind of like a dragon, or I don't know, maybe an elephant sea snake. I don't know. Either way, we're looking at right here. We're like, okay, we're at $1.50 right now. Or actually, sorry, we're at $1.56, right? So let's say, hey, when darker gets to $3, I want to sell 10% of mine. So I'm going to go like this, make it a little bit smaller so I can reach $3. And I would say, okay, so when darker hits $3, I want to sell 10% of mine for darker. And then if darker falls by 50%, then I can set this one here. Then I can flip these, the EDI and the darker, and I can, if darker falls by 50%, so if it falls from like $1.50 to 75 cents, I could put a buy order of 10 E die, let's say I have 100 E die, and so 10% of my dry powder is $10. So I got 100 E die, and I'm like, I want to buy 10%. I want to spend 10% of my dry powder on darker if it falls 50%. So I could just flip it like this, take my E die and darker, and I could say, okay, well now I want to take, I want to buy $10 of E die of darker if it goes back down to 75 cents right here. Boom. So I can set an order there, and I can set an order up at $3. And it doesn't look even because it's not. Remember, we want to sell every time it doubles. We get an X, and we want to buy every time it goes down 50 cents. But we're only buying 50%. We're only buying 10%. We're only blowing 10% of our powder. So we never truly run out of powder, but we can get pretty low after a bunch of buys, especially in pulse chain. Over the last 5 years, your 10% would be like 1.8 pennies or something like that right now if you start with $100. But either way, yeah, you do that, and then you're like, okay, well, and if it drops 50% again, so if it goes from 75 cents down to like 37. So if it goes down to like 37 cents, then I can set another one. So I can set this one, and then I can take one down at 37 cents, which is another 50% drop. And I can say, okay, at 37%, I want to buy, you'd have $90 after the first buy. So $9 would be 10% of your dry powder. So I'm going to set a $9 buy down here at 37 cents. And then you could go again and be like, okay, well now I would have $81 if I spent 10 and then 9 out of 100, I'd have $81. So now 10% of that bag would be $8.10. So I can set $8.10 buy down around 18, 19 cents, which it hasn't been since the relaunch. But I mean, shoot, if I showed you guys, I think I added it to a chart, but this is another way to take profit too. Is just every time it goes up to whatever your thing is, you can set a sell order right there, a sell limit order. And then as it goes through your price, it'll fill it. So it won't fill it if it taps it, because it's got to cover the bid and the ask and the spread. So as it goes up through and goes a little bit above yours, that's when it's going to fill. So that's another good point, is if I did want to sell when it hit $3, then I actually wouldn't set my limit order at $3. I would set it at just below that, so that it would cover the spread or the slippage, right? So you set your slippage here, you set your slippage at what you want here, and then you might go 1 or 2% below that $3, so that when it does hit $3, it actually fills it like $2.90, $2.97 or something like that, $2.97. See right there. So this is just a great way to take the emotions out of it. You can set these up for an insane amount of days, custom days. I think you set it for, let's say we wanted this for like the next whatever years, 2 years. So it's like 700 days. So I just put like, here's 700 days. It won't go past 70. We need longer time zones. Just kidding. Let's see here. Can I get let's try 100 days. Can we get 100 days? We can get 100 days. All right, we're going to slowly figure out what squirrel set this to by playing with this. 150 days. Oh, okay, so we got 150 days. Let's try 300 days. Yeah, we can do 300 days and set our slippage to 1%. That's badass. So yeah, you can set your orders here, and basically it just waits for them to hit your marks, your buy marks and your sell marks. Beautiful. And I'm sure there's something like this on Switch, but I don't know. In fact, let's see here. Fit buy now, and then there's switch and limit. There's your limit order. So you would actually have to put it in here. It doesn't have a cool chart for you to just put it on, but you could set it here and figure out, okay, well, at this price, I want to sell this much. At this price, I want to buy this much. Yeah, so check that out. that is a way that you can, 3 ways you can, or 2 ways you can do this. You can do limit orders, or you can do over the counter. And yeah, I would not be surprised if people that see this right here, I mean, I retweeted this or pinned it in our Telegram, that this was for sale at $1.20, which is a great price right now. What it's, you know, somewhere bouncing above 150. That's a great ARB right there. And Cash X God has an ARB too as well, where it's selling for 4 zeros and a 7, and right now it's 4 zeros and a 7.5. So there's that. If you got 10 million of those bad boys, let's view it. Okay, so if I bought the whole thing, 10 million, I would, if I bought it in, what's it accepting? Is it accepting Pulse? It's only accepting Pulse. So someone's trying to get a bunch of Pulse for their Cash X God right here, or token for sell Pulse. It's really weird. Anyways, yeah, show more. And if I were to buy it in Pulse, I'd be spending $708 in Pulse, and I'd be receiving $755 of Cash X God. Now, I would, obviously, this goes back to what you guys were saying earlier, the liquidity. Like, if there's no liquidity at all, just this, they're just selling here, then you're not going to be able to go, you know, get your $50 ARB right off the bat. So you might want to check and make sure there's some liquidity there. Our liquidity seems to be growing every day. The community has stepped up in some big positions, and some other founders of some other coins are also, it appears somebody is running buy bots on some of these other tokens, and they're getting chunks of darker, and then they're pairing it with their tokens. So there's 2 or 3 that I've been watching that I'm a big fan of, that I'm glad we have liquidity with. And it looks, in my opinion, it looks like a buy bot set up by someone who wants to use that coin to accumulate dark. And usually it's founders and whales that have enough coins to go after deals like that. But that was it. This is it. You down with OTC? Yeah, you know me. Oh, I would play a chunk of that if YouTube weren't such a soy boy, if they just didn't pee their panties every day, like every day. Like, half of the stuff I have that's copyright free from StreamYard, it will put as a copyright strike. I'm like, guys, this is the most copyright free music on earth. It is mostly garbage. And they're still just hitting me with those. So shout out to Triplet Dad at 0x Bistro. That was a place that did a lot of good dark sells back in the day. Steakhouse, that's it. So Steakhouse, Magic Carpet Ride, Barista. So there's Bistro and Barista, where he's got his magic beans, his magic coffee beans that are really interesting NFTs. If you have one of his magic coffee beans, you pay half of the fees on his OTC there. Instead of paying 1%, you'll pay 0.5%. So yeah, super cool stuff he's built over there. Glad that he's part of there. Look at this. You down with OTC? Yeah, you know, he just retweeted after I was talking about him. You know, cool. Let's go back to home. I was showing you guys this earlier. This is what makes me fairly confident that the bottom is in. We may not be rocketing anytime soon, like really rocketing and staying up there, but I'll tell you what, we will be. I think we will be at least not going down further, because as you can see, I'm live right now. This is 13 views. It's no big deal. If you go back to yesterday's, even the Rings of Dust readings are getting much more views than they used to. But Crypto Coffee Pulse, why is heck soaring, up 18% again today. His and I haven't looked at Your Friend Sami's, but that would be very interesting too. Let's go to Your Friend Sami. Let's go to his YouTube and go back. We'll go back to some live streams or some videos from back in April. So what's this one? 5 days ago. We got to go back, July, June, May, April, May. It's like 4 months. We'll keep going into 2 weeks. He releases 83 videos a day. And so because he releases so many, it's going to take a while to go back 4 months, but we'll do it because I believe in us. I believe in us. We can do this. 1 month ago, Jiminy Christmas. 1 month ago, I'm sure I could like sort this somehow, but I'm not gonna. So 1 month, 2 months. Okay, so there's 2 months ago. There's 2 months ago. Let's get back. Like I said, I want to get like 4 months back and show you guys his viewership, his average viewership on these. And you're going to be like, huh, that's pretty interesting. We're back to 2 months. We're back to 3 months. Come on, baby. This is good. This is so tedious. This is why the replay gang listens to me on 1.5 or 2x, because they can go several minutes of me just trying to pull shit up, and they're not really missing out on much. Here we go. So here's 4 months ago. We'll go down one more. So 4 months ago, you look at his streams, his videos, and you got about 2K, 2.3K, 1.3K, 1.3K, 2.4K, 2.2K, 2.6K, right? 1K, 1.3K, 2.3, 1.5, 1.8, and it goes on and on. So like his average, we're going to call his average 2,000 views per video. And obviously some of these thumbnails are going to get more clicks than others, and some that are more shared on Twitter and YouTube and any other platforms are going to get more. So yeah, 1.6, 1.7, 1.6, 2K, 1.6K, 2.2K. All right, kids, let's do this. What is he getting lately? He's getting 2K. Let's roll down here. He's got 1.6K, 2K, 1.4K. Well, I was hoping it would show he's got like 3K views on average, but he doesn't. He's stuck at 1.7, 1.6, 1.3. He was saying that earlier when he was streaming during the last bull market, it was insane, but this is still around 2. What I've noticed with Crypto Coffee is his has gone up 50%. And my streams, my rewatches, especially on X and other places where people are starting to come back and look around and check out crypto, see what Pulse Chain's up to. They've heard that Hex and Pulse are starting to pump a little bit, so they're coming back and they're looking, and that's what makes me believe we've hit the bottom. And like I said, we might grind along the bottom forever. I don't know. I mean, I've been wrong about a lot of stuff. I'm frequently wrong with my predictions, so take that with a grain of salt. But when you see viewership going up, when you see Telegram engagement going up, then and obviously web searches, things like that, people have pulled up. That's when you know, okay, something's changed. Something has changed. And I'll tell you this: when the Hex meetups are standing room only, and if you don't buy tickets to the event, I know. Oh goodness gracious! I know her name, and anyways, she was putting together Crypto Sparbook's tour, and then after that, she was really amazing at putting together get-togethers. Under there was another name after that. Either way, if you did not RSVP and send her money for the karaoke hangout or the club hangout, or whatever they were doing, she put together the Top Golf. She put together some of the coolest meetups and events that we did. It was all top level golf tournaments, all sorts of stuff. And when you have trouble getting in on the list for these things, and you go to the conference that weekend at Vegas or Salt Lake or California, and it is standing like every seat is full, sell. take profit, take a chunk of money off the table, because that's when everyone is chasing green candles. That's when everyone's buying. That's when everyone is taking. That's the 40, 50 cent hex that we saw. Okay, so when things are insane, when there's 1,000 people, and I'm doing tech talks again, that's a sign that hey, it's time to sell a little bit of this stuff that we got back a year ago or whatever. So that's just a little bit of advice for y'all. Let's see here, going back to my comments. All right, Jonathan Kampala, I'm always listening. Believe in yourself. Hey, Max and Jonathan. Yo, believe in yourself. Yo, Steve Stash. Good to see you here, buddy. Yeah, so I would just like to stress, because someone was asking me, they're like, hey, do I ever sell my darker? Like, you say I don't have enough darker and I don't want to sell it, but like, how am I going to get money out of this in the future? And I, covered these things, OTC and setting limit orders, but also, really the game of darker matter is not the darker matter token. You don't have enough darker matter, and you should get as much as you get your hands on. But right now, the beginning of the game, you want to mint, you want to sacrifice your jackpot if you hit it, or if you don't have much darker, you want to claim it and remint and restake, and then stake all that. But once you can stake, you want to stake and get that 180 days out of the way as soon as possible. At that point, you start receiving 100 times more from the treasury than people who didn't stake, or at least 90 times more than the people that just staked for 33 days, which, by the way, we should check on that one that we did. We did 10 for like 33 days just to see what their yield would start being. And so you're giving up your FOMO curve. You're going 100, you're going 6 months, and you're not going to get paid out of the treasury while you wait. You have to put all that token, you gotta pay that token to other people that haven't staked for 6 months, or roughly 17 journeys, 17 rounds. So like right now it's round 4. So you would not be, if you were staking now, you would not be getting paid. You wouldn't be getting that bonus and the liquid darker bonus as well, which we'll get to under get paid. So you get paid in extra dark tokens, and you get paid 100 times more than your peers from the FOMO curve. So you're giving up basically this whole first season of payouts, which is quite a bit of skin in the game, but not nearly as much as season 2 and season 3. You want to hit those 180 days so that you can lock in and stay locked through season 2 and season 3, because that is when things are going to get very, very interesting. And that's when your NFT is going to start stacking darker inside of it much, much faster. It's going to accelerate at a 5x and then a 25x. So you're just getting a teeny bit of darker right now, teeny bit, but you're not doing it for the darker right now. You're not doing it to dump $1.50 darker. You're doing it because, let's say that your NFT has 10 darker in it towards the end of season 2. And let's just say, for hypothetical, not financial advice, not a forward-looking statement, not any of that shit. Let's just say that darker's $10. Darker's $10, and I got 10 in there. Well, if I have 10 darker inside my NFT and darker's at $10, my NFT now has a cash value of $100. Okay, and granted, I can deplete it. I'll get 90% of that, and I can cash out. And I may have bought that NFT for 30 cents. And then I might have also spent 30 cents in transactions getting it through that whole gauntlet, because I get it. Our stuff is heavy on tax and on transactions, but it is all on chain and it is automatic. So that being said, I might have bought that NFT for 30 cents and now it's worth $90. Just like 16 months later, give or take, right? That's just a hypothetical. Now, the God move, the cheat code to this whole thing is to go on somewhere like Squirrel Swap or Harry Labs or, you know, Mintra. If anyone ever shows back up at Mintra and does any work ever again, you can go to these places and you can say, hey, this NFT's got $100 cash value, and it's going to continue to receive a whole bunch of darker. Now, here's a caveat. In order to transfer or sell your NFT, you do have to end the stake, because that contract is with that address. So that's why another reason why you want to get that 180 days done. So let's say you get the 180 days done and you lock it in around round 21. Well, you'd be getting paid a bunch of tokens through the second season. And then you'd have all that time to soak up a whole bunch of darker. At that point, you can unstake, which again, that just goes back to a weight of 1 against your peers in that round that minted. So you're still getting paid, just not as much as when you were locked, and continue to stay locked, which is, I mean, honestly, the game is designed for you to mint an NFT, stake the NFT, and never, ever unstake it. Like ever, not even to sell it. But I understand that some of you guys are like, well, I want to pay off my house. I want to, get a pickup truck. I want to take my wife to Hawaii and show her that I'm not a loser with all my friends in crypto in our mom's basements. This is real. I can really make money. Hex is really real. This cult thing has worked out. I get that. And so you can unstake. If you unstake then after you've had plenty of time to accumulate, and then sell it to someone who can then restake it for 180 days. If they wanted to at that point, they could. I mean, they wouldn't be hitting their 180 days till, what would that be, like round 41? So like round 58. It was around 58. So they'd be maturing around here, but still they'd be 100x for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They get 9 of the biggest payouts at 100x. So it might be completely worth it to them to restake it, or just to sit there and let it fill up at 1x. So that is the move. Like, people that are buying and minting and staking now are going to have such a huge advantage over the people that find this in season 2. And then the people that find this in season 2 are going to have a great advantage over the people that find this in season 3. All the while, you guys right now that are here minting and staking are going to have a 25x advantage in season 3, where season 2 will have a 5x advantage, which is not bad, especially on the most scarce token. I mean, if people just don't cheat, and they start understanding, oh shit, I need way more darker because I want to mint at least like 1,000 a round to try and hit that jackpot. At that point, there's not enough darker in the universe for anybody, like even for people that are outside of the top 25. The only person right now that's sitting on a pile of darker is Pink Miss Well, and that's like 95,000. So he has enough to mint 1,000 every round through the whole game, which would be a huge advantage. But I'm just saying, like, there's so little of the supply right now. So little of the supply. Look at this. Minted into fuel cells. 360,600 darker have been minted into fuel cells. 58% of the launch liquid supply is locked into the game since launch. 58%. 58% of the 32%. So there was only 32% that was kind of like dumped, airdropped and minted to users and the mystery box. And since then, a ton of that, I mean, more than half, 58% of that has already been minted into fuel cells. And out of those 58% that were minted, you've got, we need a percentage on here, man. Let me put that in Claudie Poo. Hey, Claudie Poo, where you at, Claudie Poo? Claude. Main, desktop, loop film. There we go. Got it. Oh, it's got a script for my thumbnail, which, by the way, did you guys see my thumbnail? Come on, dude. Like, you kids that were there in the 90s will remember a little group that was, they were naughty, but it wasn't their fault, because they were naughty by nature, if you will. They were naughty by nature. They couldn't help it. And so let's actually put this all the way. So right here, you down with OTC? Yeah, you know me. I like that they even put the naughty by nature because they're subtle. AI is subtle. And so they actually put crunch time, hex, pulse. What's that? Ding, dling, dark, dingling. I think it's dingling. Hex, pulse, staking, pulse. Yeah, pulse chain, OTC trading. We are the pulse revolution. Damn. And it's got this pulse chain border. So, all right, that's just me just fishing for compliments there. Let's go back here to the supply. And then let's also say, hey, underneath the supply tab on agproject.io, underneath the state and free fuel cells, we should have a percentage instead of just the number. There we go. That might be done by the end of stream. Probably will. Anyways, yeah, out of 360,000, 243,000 have been staked. And here's the crazy thing. A bunch of these, meaning the 57,000 in round 4, can't be staked yet. The 24,000 in round 5 can't be staked until round 6. So right here we have 81,000 that can't be staked yet out of this 117,000. So really, if you take 117,000 and those people stake, like we get staking really high again for round 4 and 5, then 81 minus 117 is 36,000. So that means there's 36,000 out of 360,000. That's right, 10% that would not be staked if these were all staked. 90%. So not only is 58% minted, but of the 58% that was minted, about 80 or 90% is staked, which means these people are committed to making no money for till next year, basically, till New Year's Eve. That's when the first ones are going to start in round 1, and it just goes from there. It's bananas. This is a bananas upside down. The scarcity on this token and in this project have been thought of for years. And we're learning new stuff every day about scarcity and about demand and about growing communities. And that's what this all comes down to. Gas is super cheap right now, $3.91. If you're brand new here, let me just take you through this, how to play. You just click how to play at the top. You mint. So we'll click mint, and we'll mint 100 of darker into 100 fuel cells. Again, this is, at $1.55. Oh, the other day this was 1.5555, which is super cool. But at $1.55, we're taking $150 of tokens, and we're locking them up for months. Even if we don't stake them, we're locking them up for months before we would get a darker back to deplete and break open the fuel cell and sell. So that's not a small deal of just everyone that's been minting. If you add up all the stuff that's been minted and you look at the value of it, the USD value of it, there's some serious commitment going into this flywheel, and it's blown me away. So these 100 are going to cost me 14 cents to mint, which is a fortune on Pulse Chain, but which is peanuts anywhere else. We wait for the fireworks. Congratulations, you minted 100. So we minted 100 more that are going to be minted for round 5, because in round 4 we mint for round 5, and round 5 we mint for round 6, and so on. So how to play: mint, we minted. Farm, let's farm. So now we're going to go to fuel cell farms, and we need to go back around to farm. So we need to go to a round that's already finished and completed, like round 3. So let's click on round 3, and it did show the dates there. If you hover over there, it'll show you the dates. Let's go to manage fuel. So fuel cell info tells me how many I have. I've got paid 19.7 darker off of those 747 fuel cells. I didn't win the jackpot, even though I minted over 740. I was crushed. But my round yield share, I'm getting almost 1% of the whole round with that 740, because there was 70,000 minted, right? Or something like that. And it says my moon math, like right now, it thinks that my 740 fuel cells will be worth $1,453 at the end of round 66. So in about 2 years, if the price is the same it is today at about 50. Again, let's go crazy and just throw $10 out there, not for any reason specifically, or actually let's go to 1111. Yeah, 111, we like that. So if it's $11.11, give or take, that'd be 10 grand of darker that I would have inside of my fuel cells. Now, remember, if you deplete, you're walking away with 90% of that. So that's like 9 grand. If you don't deplete and you just go sell these 10 grand worth of NFTs, cash value of these NFTs to someone, you could get your whole 10 grand, and it wouldn't hurt your bags, because if that new person held on to that NFT as it continued to gain value, then those tokens never hit the market, or they don't hit the market anytime soon if they're still accumulating. Now, how many people are here? I don't want to say too much. Do not want to say too much. There's 27 people here. That's too many. That's too many. We need about 24 of you to leave, and then I'll tell the secret to the 3 people left if they promise to keep it. No, it's not a secret. It's just an idea. I'm throwing this out there because we played the dark matter game, the first one, for about a year and a few months, not quite a year and a half, I think. And at that point, we realized that game was too complicated for people to play, believe it or not. I know you guys are looking at this one and being like, this is complicated as hell. It is. It has a lot of moving parts, and I'm not great at explaining it yet. We're working on dumbing it down and making it simple for everyone to understand, because there's so much cool shit here. But I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, here it is. So we played game 1 for a year and a few months. We were supposed to play it for 4 years, but it was so difficult to get people to mint inside that 11-day window and then wait 33 days and then mint inside of the 11-day window and then wait 33 days. It was not working, especially when everyone just left Pulse Chain. So everyone left Pulse Chain, and we looked at it and we like, you know what, we should revamp this. Like, we should make it so you can always mint, which we did. We should make the rounds 11 days instead of 45, which we did. We should add a tax to salespeople, but not tax people that are in the community that are minting. We did that. We should add an eDai reward where people can get paid in eDai and they don't feel guilty for spending their eDai because it's just a stable coin. But people don't want to sell their babies. They don't want to sell the darker. So we did that. We did a bunch of amazing shit here. I mean, this is the most interesting project on Pulse Chain, and I don't say that lightly. Like, I go around, I listen to a lot of people, I check out a lot of cool projects, and there are some very cool projects. There's some very cool fundamentals and tokenomics going on in Pulse Chain that you don't see anywhere else, honestly. Like, this is next level shit. And out of the people making new stuff and being super creative, this is by far, not just because of the story and the tokenomics and the art and music, this community is the most interesting community in Pulse Chain. Trust me, I've met the others. The others are cool. Wick is a really cool community. Dr. Doge, very cool community. Not as cool as us. Not as cool as our. And granted, there's a lot of overlap of all the communities in Pulse Chain because we're all, former Hexkins or people that bought 50-cent Hex and are still here wondering what the hell to do. So there's that group of us. But this is the most interesting thing on Pulse Chain. And if this flywheel gets spinning, I mean, it's already the amount of mints is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that there's this many mints right now. I mean, I knew there'd be a bunch from some of the whales and some of the founders would be jumping in there, and because they know how to play the game because they created it. And we tell you guys exactly how to play the game. Mint, stake, get darker, mint, fuel cells, stake fuel cells. That's it. That's the whole recipe. That is you will win the game. If the game succeeds, you will succeed if you do those things. So let's go back here. Like I said, we minted. Now we're farming. Excuse me, sorry guys. Damn, it's late. We're farming, and then so we're gonna go here to a previous one, which is 3. We're going to manage fuel cells. We have 539 that are unstaked. So let's stake 20% of them. Let's stake a little over 100 of them, and let's stake them for, we'll do the acknowledgement button here, and we'll say we want to stake them for 180, baby. 180. It's got step 1 of 3. We're going to sign that. It's going to be a penny to, like, I think, check the status of them. So it's checking the jackpot status to make sure I'm not flushing a jackpot down the drain. And then it's going to put these in batches. Batch 1, I'll hit fast sign. Shout out to ZKX Wallet, even though you think that the darker matter is completely worthless and has no value. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Here we go. Boom. Congratulations, 107 fuel cells with access to the 180-day bonus pool claims when they mature. Beautiful. I did not pay attention to the fee there, but I should have. So there we go. Mint, farm, did those. Let's get paid. So we can go to the jackpot at the end of every round. So in 7 days and 13 hours, a jackpot is going to be announced, and 78 fuel cells, NFTs that were minted in round 3 are going to mature here in round 4. So at the end of round 4, round 4s will pay out 999 darker to 78 fuel cells that have won based on the odds of 1 in 740. So you would have minted about 740 per winner on average, and you would have gotten 999 darker. Let me repeat that. In the last round, people minted around 740 on average to win 1,332. We didn't have as many sacrificers yet. We still might kick this over, but the chances are, I think, are really slim because there's only 5 unclaimed. There's only 5 unclaimed jackpots in round 3. There are 6 unclaimed jackpots in round 2, and there are 3 unclaimed jackpots in round 1. And the ones in round 1 only won 333. Then round 2 won 999. Then round 3 won 1,332, and now we're back to 999 because we had 21 claimed and 51 sacrificed. If those 21 that claimed had sacrificed, we would probably be at the mega jackpot, the maximum amount, 1,332. But we're not. And so I think a lot of people that claimed are minting with them to continue to try and win jackpots in the future and continue to use that flywheel to gamble with house money, to gamble with house tokens. So if you're getting 1,999 to 1,332 per winner, that's can continue. If you hit a 1 jackpot every round, you're kind of have like this endless amount of dark that you just keep. It's a perpetual amount of dark. You just keep rolling into the next mints, and then you win the next lottery, and then you win the next mints jackpot, and then you mint and you can win the next jackpot. So this is very interesting whole thing here. So this is the first way to get paid, is the jackpot. Second way to get paid is you can claim EDI. So the people that sacrificed and rolled their darker matter tokens into the next jackpot to hook these homies up with a fatter jackpot, they get put into an EDI pool, and you get one weight for every Jiminy Christmas. Sorry, I just got distracted by the EDI payout. You get one weight for every darker that you sacrifice to the void. So people that sacrificed those big jackpots of 1,332, they got a weight of 1,332 against the other people that are competing with for this EDI payout. And you can claim this EDI payout every time it receives money, which is not very, if you just have dust down here and it's not worth the transaction, you wouldn't be hitting claim all the time. You might want to let it pile up. So we have a $1.54 piled up at this point from the one sacrifice that we did a long time ago after round one. $16,111 have been paid out in EDI. Let me repeat that. 16 grand has been paid out in EDI to the sacrificers. There's 380, and that includes $381 that hasn't been claimed, that's sitting in there right now. Let me show you guys something. You go to squirrelswap.pro. You go to, no, not limit. We already went to that one. Here you go. You go to trade, liquidity, pool explorer. Here is the address for darker matter. Okay, do you guys understand that 16 grand out of, right now we have 41 grand of liquidity. 16 grand has been sold into EDI and given to people that are sacrificing, like basically giving up their rights to that jackpot forever. Or in the future, I would not sacrifice NFTs right now. I would not sacrifice fuel cells to the void now because they have dust in them. And so you're only going to get credit for that dust. There is one person that sent 3,000 in there, and those 3,000, because they were minted in round 1 or 2, everything that it earns is going into the void, but it's being paid out to the same people that minted in the same round. So in the future, if its portion was 10 darker, those 10 darker are going to get paid to the other people that didn't sacrifice and didn't deplete. So the longer you just stay doing nothing, you get more darker. So that's kind of cool. But the fact that the charts are as pretty as they are, even though they look like weird animals, maybe Loch Ness Monster, I don't know. The fact that these charts have not completely gone to 58 zeros and a 1 that's a Christmas miracle, Mr. Scrooge. That is a freaking miracle. On Pulse Chain, people sell a few $1,000s of anything on Pulse Chain, it goes to 0 fast. One in one candle, maybe 2. We have a very, very decent chart right now. And like I said, we faced 16 grand and in the beginning we had $50. We started with $50 of liquidity because we were making sure that we had the sales tax hitting the art bots the right way. We wanted to make sure that, if there was a bug or something crazy, we weren't going to, someone that provided liquidity wasn't going to get just completely rinsed. And so it was built up slowly at the beginning. There's just a few grand and then a few more and then a few more. And at that point we had paid out 5 grand of EDI by the end of round 2. I want to say, I don't know. It was insane. So when you look at this right here, 16,111.68. Oh, if it was 0.69, that would be a really cool number. 16,111.69. That's insane. So you can get paid with the jackpot, you can get paid with the EDI payout, and this is, forever. I mean, granted, it fills up mostly when people mint, but it also fills up when the bots pay taxes, and it fills up when people pay a royalty on the NFTs and the NFT marketplaces we talked about earlier. The third way to get paid is to go to the 180-day bonus pool. Actually, there's a fourth way, but it's not live yet. You go to the 180-day bonus pool. And like I said, I've got 51.97 that it would be my share of the pool based on how many NFTs I have staked for 180 days. So it's the same thing as the EDI pool. Every NFT is worth one weight. And so the more NFTs you have staked, the more weight you have in this pool. And this pool pays out 3.69% of its darker matter every 11 days forever. It might be dust someday, but it will pay out every 11 days forever. I mean, as long as we have electricity. And the pulse chain is running, knock on wood covered facade stuff. Yeah, but look at this. If I go to click claim, you got a lock button, and the lock button is pointing to this countdown. The 180-day bonus pool will snowball for the next 154 days. It's going to snowball for basically 191 days from the beginning to the first payout, because remember, you could not stake until after the first round. So you had to stake before the first round, complete the first round, and then you could stake afterwards. So it was a minimum of 11 days that darker was going into here with all the mints. So 190, actually there was like round zero was like 20 days or so, maybe 30 days. So really it would be like 30 plus 11, so 41 plus 180. So it'd be like 230 days that this thing was rolling. I was like, yeah, or 210 days. Either way, it's going to be a long time before anyone touches this, and it's like it's right around New Year's Eve is when the very first people will have access to claim their darker matter, and this goes straight in your wallet. This isn't locked inside your NFT. This is just a payout, being like, hey, way to go, way to make it 180 days in crypto. Not only holding something but minting it and locking it. You're a legend. You're a stud. Like, you go to the front of Fight Club and you get to eat first. You get to go make some soap at the soap factory, kid. Like, you've made it. This is insane. There's 242 locked shares. So, every NFT is worth 1/242 thousandth. And so everyone's getting paid 0.02 per NFT at this point. This is going to change as people mint, and it will change. Well, will it though? Yeah, it'll change as people mint, because 40% of the mints are going into here, and 3.69% would be coming out every 11 days. So we'll see how this bloats. We'll see if this ever gets to a point where it exhausts, which I'm guessing it would eventually. But yeah, this is bananas. So you get paid with the jackpot, claim EDI, and of course the 180-day bonus pool. And as soon as you hit 180 days, again, your treasury payouts inside your NFT are boosted by 100 times in competition with other NFTs. You don't have enough darker, you don't have enough fuel cells. One more way that's coming your way, kids. Go to claim EDI. You can gift to the pool. So I can give it darker, I can give it EDI. I think I can actually donate a bunch of other tokens, because like I said, the royalties will be paid here and they'll be paid in different tokens. So I think we have it set up for that. But like I said, I can just donate EDI. I can throw $1,000 of EDI in here. If I had $1,000 in this account, which I don't, but if I had $1,000 of EDI in this account, I could just hit that and I could donate it. I could gift it. And then that $1,000 would show up here and be paid out accordingly. Just an interesting thing to think about. But as you scroll down, we were thinking about a buy bonus, because we've had some insane in the membrane people like just dump insane amounts of money in here and crank and pump the price and paint charts. And it's fun. But we thought we should reward these people. If you are a net buyer, you go onto this leaderboard of 9. I think this is supposed to be 10 or maybe more, but there's only 9 net buyers that it's reading out of like 700 addresses. So these are the people that are actually buying instead of just, I mean, most people are using their airdrops as efficiently as possible. And I get that because we're in a bear market and this might be like, you might not have $1,000 sitting around to go buy, 700 or 800 darker and mint them. But if you have it already, these people are buying, and it shows how many fuel cells they have, how many net buys they've made, and their points and their bonus. So this one right here at the top has 25,000 fuel cells. They bought 2,000 more, 25 more than they've sold. So they get 21 points, and that equals 106. That's a 5% bonus, which is 106 extra darker that they can come here and claim when this goes live. So there's 9 earners. Total bonus is 238 that it'd be paying out. 5% is the rate. The rate can change. So the rate can go up and the rate can go down. Just saying. Based on the price of darker in the future. Mystery box darker. So there's 156K in the mystery box. So it's saying we're good for the 238 is basically what it's saying, I think. Anyways, dumping cancels your buys. So only real holders rank. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't know how often this updates. Updated 7/14/2026. So there's more net buys since 7/14. So I don't know how often this updates, but we'll see when this updates how many more net buyers are chilling like this. So yeah, mint, farm, get paid. Mint, farm, get paid. That's it. You don't have enough darker because you need darker to mint, farm, and get paid. And right now there's about $10,000 that's in liquidity pools right now. I mean, because you can't really buy someone's dark until it's put on the market, and usually that's you can do it with limit orders, but usually it's LP, and there's roughly about $10,000 worth of darker that's representing that 40K of liquidity. And there's quite a few people I can name off the top of my head that have 10 grand to blow. And apparently they're not here right now. I think they will be here soon, but I'm just saying, like, 10 grand is not a lot of sell pressure or supply. And granted, you can also buy it on OTC, 0x Bistro if you want to buy some. But just making you think about scarcity here for a little bit. Okay, we went and watched Switch.win, Rings of Dust. Here's the bus always does. So stupid. So stupid. You can hear me crash out and yell at Claude, tell it what a dumbass it is here. Or you can read it without listening to my voice. Or you can take this, and it is designed as talk-to-speech. So if we go up here to TTS Ready, which just go like this. Go to the top because we finished chapter 24 like a boss. And we're going to go here to TTS Ready. So if you go to TTS Ready, here's all the chapters that are talk-to-speech ready. You can copy this text. You can throw it into AI and have AI read it to you. I'm all the way at 24 out of 28 plus 3 epilogues. Yeah, and we've already done the first part 1, 2, and 3. So those ones are the first ones. That's a prequel. Then I've read up to 24 out of 28. So we got 4 more chapters. Wait, no, we don't. I read chapter 25. Oh, geez. Okay. And wait, if I reset this, it shouldn't say Rachel at the Station. It should say some other stuff. We fixed that one to be more accurate. It still says Rachel at the Station. What the hell is wrong with you? I just refreshed the GitHub and it still says Rachel at the station. Are you doing that thing where you're updating my local files on my computer, but you're not pushing to GitHub because you're a lazy piece of shit? And we're going to be going off a bunch of stuff that's stale on GitHub when GitHub is supposed to be the live draft. All right. So anyways, sorry. I'm sorry you guys had to see me discipline Claude in front of you. That was embarrassing. Yeah, this should be changed to on the record. Anyways, we'll figure it out. So I've got chapter 26, 27, 28, 3 chapters, 3 epilogues. So 6 readings in all, and I think the epilogues are pretty short. Like, look at the size of this bar right here. That's a short chapter. So a lot of them are like a fourth this size. So this is like fourth smaller than most chapters. Those won't take long to read. But, you know, who knows how many notes and changes we got to make in the next 3 chapters, the last 3 chapters. But yeah, I'm in spitting distance of getting this thing completely out there on YouTube, on a playlist. So we might, I'm saying you might want to listen to it, not only for understanding the tokenomics and the community better, but you might want to read it and listen to it and be able to offer some feedback on the story in the near future, because it might be valuable. So there's that one, Rings of Dust. Here's the whole playlist right now. It's got 31 videos. I need to add those other ones. I got to add 23 part 2, 24 and 25 to this, and 25 part 2, I think. Either way, we got several videos to add to this. I think we'll end up with about 40 videos, give or take. And they range in time from 1840 to like an hour or two. The first one I did like a 2-hour one, part 2. But the good news is you can play it at 1.5x or 2x, and it'll probably make sense, and you can actually listen to these in half the time. So there's that. I might just start playing these on stream, like just start playing them one after another on Spaces, you know, and just play them. Just do like a stream where it's just always a constant stream of the book, of me reading the book. Hopefully, I'll set it at 1.5x or something like that, and just tell people start picking up what's going down here. Nobody knows what's going on. This is the best kept secret in Pulse Chain, aside from Dr. Doge. Nobody knows about Dr. Doge, and we've been trying really hard to get the word out about Dr. Doge. People know about Wick. They know about Top Hat. They know about Mr. Perv X. They know about all that stuff. They don't know about, they don't understand what's going on over here. That'll be fun. All right, Bitcoin price. What did you do today, Mr. Bitcoin? Mr. Bitcoin brushed his hair, but he really didn't get out of bed. He's at 64K. Ethereum, Bitcoin's little sister, is also back up to 19. Nice try. Ho. We're waiting for you to go above 2K and stay above 2K. Or else I don't even want to tell you what's going to happen if you don't get above 2K and stay above 2K. Just go to your room and think about it. All right, darker matter. This is what we're here for, kids. Rat Pulse is up 12%. Hex is up 33%. Whoa, we might hit a penny one day. Pulse X is up 14%. Wick is up 17%. Actuator is up 14%. Dr. Doge is up 3%, or 3.5%. Ping Mist Well is up 10%. All right. It's up 10% with the darker pair. Darker and Dye is up 18%. Darker and Hex is up 22%. Darker and Pulse X is up 23%. Let's actually go to Dye, because that one's got plenty of. This one has plenty of history. In fact, it has so much history that I drew a damn candle down to our actual. I went and looked up our price on launch before we redeployed the second time, and it was 3 zeros and a 1. So 3 zeros and a 1, this is one candle that should be showing up, but it's not showing up. This is what the chart would look like if we had this candle shooting up like this. This wouldn't even register. The stuff that went between a buck and a buck 80 and 25 cents, it doesn't register unless this was a candle and we went like that off, and then it would snap back into this picture we see. But this candle, that's where we started. Like, granted, I know we had value over on dark one that transferred over, and not taking that for granted. I'm just saying we did launch fractions of a penny. We are at a buck 54 right this second. We've been up to a buck 80. We've licked the stars, and we liked what we tasted. So check this out. When we minted for round zero was when you minted for round one. So when we minted there, we went down 78% because of the sell pressure on E-die that we were talking about earlier. Then on the second mint for round 2, we went down 34%. On the third mint for round 3, things got crazy and we went down 55%. And then a buy bot was born. And we're going to zoom in and show you guys the difference in the chart from the buy bot, and pre-buy bot. So pre-buy bot, post-buy bot. Look at this. So this is pre-buy bot right here. It looks like the most crazy shark teeth you've ever seen. It looks like a seismograph as an earthquake's going off. It looks insane. It is insane. And then the buy bot came in and started buying back all of the tokens that were being turned into E-die, because it was like, hey man, every time it sells to E-die, it goes down, I'm going to buy it back. And you can just see this insanity. So on the third mint for round 4 that we're in right now, the price actually went up 136%. And then on this mint, we're waiting to see what the mint for round 5 is going to be. But right now, it would be basically even, kind of right here. It'd be pretty even. It'd be a nil one right here. It might be 0 up or down. But if it spikes up, it's going to be up. If it spikes back down, obviously it's going to be another time that the price went down during the minting. So that's a pattern that we're watching here. You know, just an interesting pattern right there of buys and sells. You can see where people took profit and sold. You can also see where the buy bot went down and then came back online. So this is, look at this. Look at this. What is this? Look at this. This is, look at that. What is that? I need a TI chat in here to tell me what in the world. This looks like something from the Arctic Monkeys album right here. That is insane. And then pop. That is a weird bubble of consolidation right there. Super interesting. Check back on chat since I've been blabbing. New Year's Eve. Check. Max, I'm headed to bed. Thanks for the soothing tone. See you next time. I'm glad I could help you bore you to sleep. Have a good night, bud. But yeah, darker's insane. You don't have enough darker. You don't have enough fuel cells. This is log. This is auto. It came up from craziness that we can't show you. However, this is really the part that when we got some liquidity going, and 154 is not bad, especially like I said, over on OXB store, you can buy this for $1.20, $1.30, depending on what tokens you're using. And it's $1.54 right now. Just saying there are some people, I believe there's a script or a group of people that just check in on 0x Bistro, and when they see an arb opportunity, it usually just snaps it up. And I haven't seen a lot of dumping. I think that they're just using it as a way to get big discounts on some of these tokens that they believe in. But that's bananas. Neon, let's check on Neon. Neon's up 11.5%. You know, no big deal. Just correcting from this huge dip right here. Just correcting back up to this line of resistance. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here, folks. PDI is up 9% on the day, making a very strong bounce right here. Oh, there's $200 of liquidity tied with darker. It's $1.56 on that pair. Wick and darker. Wick is, of course, up 13% because why not? Just painting the chart, just making all-time highs all the time. No biggie. Gelato and darker. This is not a great representation because this doesn't show you a lot of history of gelato, but it is kicking the ass of darker here, just kicking that ass. Boom, boom, boom. And that's the tax token right there, gelato. So you'll see some interesting prices, either really low, like 131 right now, you can get it at 131, or it'll be like 20 cents higher or lower because of the tax, and the RBOTs just let it sit for a while. Peacock was hanging on to its penny last time we checked it out. It's not only hanging on to its penny, it's fighting for 1.1 pennies again, fighting for a new all-time high probably. I can't see the rest of this chart, but this looks pretty good. This one from June 7th, not a bad chart. Nuts. Do you have enough nuts? Do you know where your nuts are? Can you find your nuts on a diagram of the human anatomy? I'm saying people love nuts. Guys especially love nuts, especially their own nuts. You can never have too many nuts as a guy. And nuts is just screaming again after where. Let me see. I think I've got nuts, and I've got Wick and Pulse, which of course is just stupid. This is a stupid chart. It's a stupid chart. I don't even understand that this can happen in the last 5 years that we've been in. This is ridiculous. This is anti-gravity up and to the right, baby. Kick-ass wicks. But I did have a nuts one that went back further, and it is also stupid. It's a stupid chart. I mean, it's really, really stupid. Here it is. Here it is, folks. Isn't that stupid? Isn't that the dumbest thing you've ever seen? Look how stupid that is. What is going on here? And I should have done this with neon and wick. You price it in pulse, and it just becomes unreal right there. Great liquidity providing. Great. We have darker and YAP token. How's YAP doing today? YAP is up 10%. Nice. Look at that. It's recovering from this bounce. Yeah. USDC and darker. So USDC is worth $1, and the darker on this pair is I wonder if the buy bot's been hitting this one. So USDC and darker, it's at $1.56 over here. It's got a really nice chart over the last 4 days. But I was looking for these buys. So look at these. Here's some dumps by CA9EB, and then you have all these buy bots, these bot buys right there. Maybe not a buy bot, but bot activity right there. Yeah, and then 3C630 is like, thank you very much. May I have another? Yeah, just 40 here, 10 there. He said, if these guys just sold their stuff on OTC, they make more money than pushing it down to $1.14, $1.10. Anyway. None of the ones I was looking for there. Let's look back at darker and EDI right here. If you scroll down here, you'll see all these buys for 5.555. This used to be 3.69, 2 of them, and now it's 5.555. And instead of just being on the EDI pair, which it was only on the EDI pair earlier, now it's on the hex pair. If the hex pair is cheaper, it's going to come over here and num it up. Look at all those. Look at all those buys right there from the bot on hex. Look at all these buy bots on PulseX, because PulseX was also behind. So, Yeah, look at that. Look at that nom 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 Cookie Monster. Look at that. Jeez, leave some for the rest of us, Bybot man. That's insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. The hex time tokens created by Actuator, the Actuator finance ecosystem, are fascinating. Why? Not because of their price action. Their price action is it's garbage, just like the rest of Pulse has been. But if you price them in hex, like this one, actually, right? This is hex. You could probably take this right here and trade it on Squirrel Swap with limit orders pretty easily, because you can kind of see its range. You can see its lines of support and resistance fairly well right here. And basically you can buy hex for 60% off. Now, granted, it's future hex, so it'll be worth 1 hex one day. So it's a fraction of a hex right now, where I think it's basically a liquid T-share, a fraction of a liquid T-share. But you could be buying and selling hex and the hex time tokens back and forth, and that might be a cool way to get a bunch of these hex time tokens and hex to just get your bags bigger, just by going back and forth between those two. I might set one up if I get the time, but I don't. Time is something I don't have a ton of right now. But this is interesting. The hex time token 7,000, which matures on day 7,000 of hex, and then the hex time token 3,000, which is less of a discount because it's less time that you're buying. So this one, this one's been down to 50%, 58%, but it's also been up to almost a whole hex already, which is insane. Like, if it goes up to a hex, you sell it for hex, because you know that it can't stay above a hex because it's a future hex. So yeah, this would be some fun scripts to run on just trading these back and forth, just swing trading hex and the hex time tokens. All right, that's it. We've got 37 people here, possibly. I'm guessing most of you are asleep. My voice is liquid ether or audio ether. Nexion protocol. I was looking for a decay tax here that might have been taken off of this website. I might have been saying too much, talking about it too much. Taxes, yeah, there's no decay. There was a decay here, which is amazing. And maybe it's somewhere else here under the token farms or whatever, but jeez, dude. Create token, lending protocol, farms, create dApps. I mean, staking liquidity. Vault, this is an entire universe, and I believe there are several whales that are very invested in this one, which is they're just painting a chart. Vault 369, you can use your Mr. Pervax here, and I think you can use some other core tokens as well. But this is launching, and so people are taking positions in here. They're providing liquidity. They're staking the stable token from here to make sure that it has some liquidity and collateral. Anyways, yeah. VersaVault, we were waiting for more information on VersaVault. Wix.pix. This is the Pepe, green Pepe Wix meme coin that started out with Tangent. I believe this is one that's on Pump.Tires, because the market cap is 133,000 and the price is 0.012, which is almost 0.013. It went up 97%. Wix swap aggregator. You click right here and it shows you this aggregator. You can put in, if I want to buy Wix with DAI. Right now, the best price is on Jolt, which is OTC. We should add 0x Bistro to here. It might be here, but that would be very interesting to show. If you put in dark, you'd be like, whoa, I get a crazy deal on 0x Bistro. But you got Switch, Pateus, Squirrel Swap, Emp Seal. Yeah. Here's the directory of all the websites they've been building with AI. Here's a representation of the entire supply on a globe, which is cool. Morbius got me in trouble. If you tip to the dealer on the live version, let's just say that my body's going through changes I don't understand. I literally feel like I'm going through puberty when I tip this not real person. Oh my gosh. I'll play one for you guys, but then we gotta leave because I can't stay here hitting this all night. I will.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, honey. Yeah, that is like I'm not gonna go there, but you guys can probably guess where I'm going. Squirrel Swap, buy Squirrel a beer. Buy him a beer. Like, be like, hey, bro, you did such an amazing job with just the RNG, the random number generator we use for our jackpot that's native on Pulse Chain. You did such a great job. Let me buy you a beer. Or you've done such a great job of me being able to figure out what the liquidity is on my favorite token. I believe it's a pint. Let me buy you a pint. Or any of the other cool stuff, your limit orders, your NFT Nutters page for us to sell NFTs in the future. Thank you, sir. That's the address right there to send that to him. Actuator Finance, like I said before, this shows you we have a vault here that's in this one. So if we go to earn and then down to farms, we got $25 of LP between Hex and the Hex time token 7,000. And with that $25, we have earned, we've actually earned a ton more than this. We actually earned almost our full $60 back in the beginning that we put into this in actuator tokens. But we can claim 1,140 actuator tokens right now. And actuator tokens are going to be more scarce over the next few years. Same with the Switch X tokens, I believe. That's it. We're done. We got to the end of all of those. I think there was another thing I was going to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. But I'll tell you this. You matter. I don't know if anyone's told you this lately, but you matter. You are important. You're a unique and precious creation. There's nobody like you. Nobody like you in the universe that we know of. It's possible, but why? Why would there be 83 of me? Like Rick and Morty, it's very entertaining, but even the Rick and Mortys are not the same Rick and Mortys in all the different universes. So you are unique. You're special. I think you're here for a reason. And I hope that you figure out what that reason is, because I don't think that you can. I think trying to be happy is a mental illness, because no matter what you enjoy, no matter what brings you pleasure, it always has like a half-life or an expiration date. I think the best thing we can do here on this earth, in this life, in this experience that we're having right now, is to live a life of purpose or meaning. And it's not easy. Sometimes you might know what your purpose is and slack off for a while, and it sucks. It doesn't feel good, but that's part of life. That's part of the experience, is finding that. So I hope you guys find that. And what you do matters. Like, even when you're the only one on earth that knows what you're doing, and you're working towards your goals and your purpose, and you're, dare I say, loving yourself, and you have a good relationship with yourself, that matters a lot. All those little things that you do that you think no one sees and no one does except for you, and maybe, God, if he exists, or a higher power. But everything you do all day matters. It matters for the better. I mean, it might matter for the worse, but I think you're stacking bricks and gaining credit a lot more than we think we are. I think we're a lot stronger and braver, and I think we're all doing our best. And I think we all deserve some grace and kindness. So give that to yourself, because you're the only one on earth that can give yourself the grace and kindness and love that you need. No one else knows what's going on in your head and your heart as well as you do. So I want to leave you guys with that little sermon there. And I want to tell you guys, none of you have enough dark matter except for Pink Mistwell. And even then, if you ask Pink Mistwell, he would probably tell you he doesn't have enough darker matter. So, yeah, you might. Let me put it this way: if you guys are thinking about getting darker matter or hex or pulse or any of these tokens that we cover here, Dr. Doge, Neon, ProveX, any of those. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, Fast Wheel? I'm here for the tech. It's almost 1 a.m, you maniacs. Yeah, I think this is all people from Japan and Australia. I don't think there are any. If there are any American viewers in here, yeah, you guys are maniacs. You need to go to bed. What was I saying? This is what you want to do. Like, don't ape into coins and don't chase green candles. Look at a token. Let's look at Hex, for instance. I think that Hex could hit $1. I also think the Hex could go down way lower than it is right now, because crazier things have happened in crypto, and who knows what the hell's going to happen. So I take that percentage of how likely I think it's going to hit $1 and how likely I think it's going to fall another 99%. And there's a number in your head, especially if you're a dude. If you're a dude, like, oh, I can't do darker, but Hex is a good example. So if I think that there's like 50% chance that darker could go to $1, and there's a 50% chance that it could drop 99%, then I'm going to take whatever capital I have, whatever dry powder I have, and I'm going to take that percent, those two percentages. Like, if I think that Hex is 99% down, then I'm going to want to spend 99% of what I have allocated for that token. Let's say I have $100 in my budget for Hex. At these prices, I might want to spend $99 on it, because even if it does drop 99% again, I can throw that other dollar in there and still be pretty confident and happy with my choice. So just think about it that way. Darker's at $1.50. How low do you think it can go? How high do you think it can go? And then take whatever you want to put in there, whether it's $10 doonies or, more like some of the maniacs here, and put that in it, and just be able to go to sleep at night and be like, all right, I did what I thought was right based on what my made the best decision I can make with this point, at this moment, with the knowledge I have. And then tomorrow you do the same thing. Your knowledge might change and you can change your positions, but that's the easy way to not FOMO in and dump out, cheat out, just right there. So, this is the thing. Yeah, I'll save it for next time, but are you down with OTC? Yeah, you know me. And I'm gonna drop YouTube, which is most of you, and I'm gonna play that song from Naughty by Nature, just because I think we have to, on X, without getting our hands slapped, without Google and YouTube peeing in their panties. So I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. You guys did not get a song going out, but we'll see you on the next one, probably tomorrow. I mean, it should be streaming just about every day. All right. we will see you guys on the next one, YouTube and for X.